Maybe Disney has learned something after all. What a wild idea. This article is from Deadline. Disney pushes pause on live-action Tangled movie. Following the underwhelming box office performance by Snow White, Disney is now pumping the brakes on another live-action adaptation of an animated classic. Sources confirm to Deadline that pre-production on the studio's Tangled live-action movie has been halted. Based on the Brothers Grimm fairy tale Rapunzel, that film had been in development with Michael Gracey on board to direct. The original 2010 pick followed the magically long-haired Rapunzel, who had spent her entire life in a tower, but now that a runaway thief has stumbled upon her, she is about to discover the world for the first time and who she really is. The live-action project was in pre-production stages, as it had begun setting meetings with potential talent to star. But after its Snow White pick has disappointed at the box office since its March 21st premiere, it has grossed $69 million domestically and $145 million worldwide so far on a production budget of $270 million. The studio is reevaluating the strategy for other live-action adaptations in development. Very interesting. So, after the catastrophic box office failure of Snow White, has something been learned at the House of Mouse? Does this mean they were intending to make this live-action remake of Tangled with a similar creative direction to Snow White? Obviously, some people have wondered if the same race swapping of characters we saw in Snow White and The Little Mermaid was also planned for Rapunzel. Potentially, who knows? It's possible that Disney intends to retool the film now and will release it at some other point. Or maybe it's been cancelled entirely. It's not clear at this stage. We'll wait and see. But I actually really agree with something that Echo Chamberlain talked about in one of his recent videos, and that the Critical Drinker recently picked up on as well, which is that woke is over in Hollywood, and we're now entering a new age of just slop, right? And films like Captain America: Brave New World and The Electric State are proof of this kind of transition. I've spoken several times about how on-demand streaming services by their nature are about feeding the endless demand for content, the need for stuff, no matter how generic, safe, and predictable it is. Unsurprisingly, those people hired to produce films and TV shows that ticked boxes and focused on the message over story aren't exactly going to be the best qualified to tell original and innovative stories. And so, if Disney is having second thoughts about one of its upcoming movies, which was another live-action remake of one of its animated classics, I think it shows us where things might be headed, and that at last, the consequences of woke mediocrity has finally caught up with them. It certainly hurt them in the pocket, so if the pivot is now towards less woke, no woke, or woke light movies, it's a start. It's a move in the right direction, you might say. I'll take it, given where we've been. But I think that you can expect more cookie-cutter movies in the future that simply fulfill base consumer demand for safe, predictable entertainment. Nothing groundbreaking. Films that try to be broad crowd pleasers, that sit in the middle of the road in terms of quality, trying not to do too much wrong, but not really doing very much right either. Films that really have nothing to say of any meaning or importance, nothing imaginative to offer. Cliché-ridden, paint-by-the-numbers scripts and stock formulaic plots and characters you've seen a million times in other films. Films that deliver an empty but adequate cinema-going experience for those who will accept consuming anything new. Films that are, by and large, really just designed for people who are content to feed from the trough of shiny new repackaged product with recycled storyline. This period of Hollywood shall henceforth be known as the age of slop. Yes, there will be some great movies released here and there, but that's true of any period in cinema history. But I think for the most part, you can expect more weak, derivative, copy and paste blockbusters and franchise films, reboots, prequels, reimaginings, sequels, and so forth, with the same muddy, low-grade CGI studio look that get cobbled together in post-production and saved in editing and reworked to death until they just about resemble a cohesive product that's suitable enough, sufficient for a general release. Films with scripts that feel like they were written from a few prompts given to ChatGPT. As for how long this new creative dark age lasts, well, that's anyone's guess, I suppose. There's no telling when it'll come to an end. There will, of course, always be a few gems produced here and there, diamonds in the rough to be found by those who can sift through the noise. And there will likely be plenty of noise to sift through. And I think this gets back to what I've been saying for years. We, as audiences, need to make our own entertainment. Tell the stories that we want to see and we want to share. So support indie filmmakers, writers, and artists who are actually using their imaginations and talents to make clever, thought-provoking, independent works, from fan films to totally original concepts. It can be done. In time, we may see this period as a kind of transitionary phase that could lead us to a new golden age for mainstream entertainment, perhaps even a return to the kinds of innovation we saw in filmmaking during the 1980s. But for that, I think we would likely need to see a cultural shift away from postmodern deconstructionism, nihilism, cynicism, and a strong sense of irony that has been a feature of our society in recent years, and a move towards a hopeful vision of the future that was something we used to see in the 80s. But is such optimism even possible in a time of high technologies that isolate us, such as the internet, smart devices, and artificial intelligence, where dystopia feels like a more believable future to many people? So, to conclude this video, how will we characterize this new age of slop? Well, I would say it's much the same as what we've been getting for the past number of years, minus the message.
The age of woke is over. The time of the slop has come.